Those friendly aisles are packed with more than bargains. They're full of eyes and algorithms. Every corner you turn, every shelf you browse, there are silent watchers above you, capturing more than just security footage. They're recording patterns, preferences, and even the subtle ways your body moves when you make decisions. Most people assume store cameras exist only to stop shoplifters. And yes, that's part of it. But modern surveillance goes far beyond theft prevention. Today's retail stores use high-tech video analytics powered by artificial intelligence. These systems don't just see you, they study you. They track how long you linger at a display, whether you return to the same aisle twice, how quickly you walk past a shelf, and which products make you pause. Some even generate heat maps to show which areas get the most attention, helping retailers redesign layouts and influence shopping behavior. Imagine this. When you reach for a box of cereal, the camera doesn't just record your action. It notes how long you stood in front of that shelf. Did you hesitate? Did you pick up one brand, put it back, and then choose another? That hesitation becomes data. Over time, retailers use that information to decide where to place products, which signs to display, and even which colors or packaging might catch your eye next time. Privacy experts warn that this form of behavioral tracking blurs the line between simple security and psychological influence. Take Harold, age 74. He always felt strangely rushed at his local grocery store. He'd walk in with a calm mind, but within minutes he was moving faster than he intended, almost hurrying through his shopping list. One day, his grandson pointed out the dozens of cameras placed above every aisle. Harold had never really noticed them before. Suddenly it made sense. That uneasy feeling wasn't his imagination. He truly was being observed from every angle, and deep down, he felt the invisible pressure of those eyes, even without realizing it. Psychologists explain that when people are aware, even subconsciously, that they are being watched, their behavior changes. It's called the observer effect. You may avoid taking too long to choose, or feel guilty for lingering, even though you've done nothing wrong. For older adults who may already feel rushed or anxious in crowded environments, this constant low-level surveillance can quietly drain peace of mind. In fact, companies like Pelco and other security providers openly advertise these advanced analytics. They promise retailers insights into customer journeys, measuring dwell time and even facial expressions. This is valuable for businesses, but for shoppers, especially seniors, it means every grocery run doubles as a recorded experiment in human behavior. So what can you do? First, remind yourself, you are not on trial. These cameras are watching everyone, not just you. Don't let them rush your decisions. Take your time. If you need help, ask a store associate rather than feeling pressured by the invisible clock of surveillance. Awareness is your armor. Once you recognize what's happening, you can shop with calm confidence instead of quiet unease. And if you often shop alone, comment the number 1 below, so we know you're still with us. Now let's move on to the next hidden place. Your living room helper could be listening more than you think. The gadgets that promise to make life easier, smart speakers, smart TVs, even internet-connected appliances, often do more than serve your commands. They listen, they track, and they quietly send pieces of your daily routine to companies you've never met. Most people think of their homes as the last private space. But with smart devices, the boundary between home and the outside world is blurred. Every time you ask your voice assistant to play music, every time you turn on your smart TV, even when you check the fridge with a built-in screen, the data doesn't stay inside 4 walls. It's sent out, stored in servers, analyzed by algorithms, and sometimes shared with advertisers. Regulators and privacy experts have confirmed that these devices collect far more information than most users realize. Smart speakers are designed to be always listening for a wake word, but that means they often capture snippets of conversations by accident. Smart TVs, many come with voice recognition and motion sensors, capable of monitoring not just what you watch but how long you watch and even whether someone is sitting in the room. And smart appliances? They track usage patterns like when you open your fridge or run your washing machine. Each little action becomes a data point in a much bigger picture of your lifestyle. Consider Samuel, age 79. He loved using his smart speaker to play old jazz records. One evening, he casually asked it to play a particular artist he hadn't listened to in years. The next morning, Samuel noticed advertisements on his tablet for jazz concerts, record stores, even vinyl reissues of that same artist. At first he thought it was coincidence until it kept happening. That's when he realized. His device wasn't just playing his music, it was studying his preferences and feeding that information back into an advertising system. What felt like a helpful friend was actually a data collector in disguise. Now imagine what that means for older adults who value peace and freedom at home. Psychologists note that once people suspect they are being monitored, even in their own living room, they change their behavior. Some begin censoring conversations, avoiding topics they once spoke freely about. Others stop feeling fully relaxed in their own space, carrying a subtle but constant sense of being watched. The very place that should be most comforting, home, becomes another arena of quiet surveillance. But what many don't realize is just how interconnected these systems have become. Parking lots, busy intersections, street corners, even private homes with doorbell cameras all contribute to a growing network of observation. These cameras don't just watch. The footage is often stored, analyzed, and in some cases, connected to advanced tools like license plate readers or even facial recognition software. That means your simple trip to the grocery store, the pharmacy, or the doctor's office might leave a digital trail that follows you long after you've gone home. Picture this. Eleanor, 76, leaves her cardiology appointment one Tuesday morning. She doesn't think twice as she walks across the parking lot. But above her, a security camera records the exact time she arrived, how long her car sat in the space, and the exact moment she leaves. Later, if someone wanted to piece together her routine, the footage would show not only where she was but when. What Eleanor thought of as private time suddenly becomes part of a permanent record, sitting on a hard drive she'll never see. Researchers point out that parking lots are among the most heavily monitored public spaces, precisely because they are hotspots for theft, break-ins, and accidents. The cameras do help deter crime. But here's the hidden side. That footage is not always deleted quickly. Some businesses hold on to it for weeks or months. Some cities share data with other departments. And in certain cases, private camera owners can voluntarily give footage to law enforcement, or even sell access to third-party companies. What begins as a safety feature can easily become a surveillance archive. A study summarized by the Journalist's Resource found that public surveillance cameras, especially in parking areas, do reduce some types of crime. But the same research highlights serious privacy risks. Misuse of footage, disproportionate targeting of certain groups, and the lack of clear rules about who gets access. For seniors, that means every trip outside may be observed not only by one camera, but by a system that connects those observations into a broader profile of your daily movements. The knowledge that cameras are everywhere can subtly change the way we behave in public. Seniors who already feel vulnerable in large parking areas may become even more anxious, hurrying their steps or avoiding certain locations altogether. What was once a sense of independence, walking to the car, running errands, strolling in the neighborhood, now comes with an invisible weight, the feeling that you're never truly alone. So what can you do? First, be aware. Assume parking lots and streets are under watch, and let that awareness guide you, without letting it control you. If privacy matters to you, vary your route occasionally, park in well-lit areas, and don't be afraid to ask businesses how long they keep their footage. Some stores will tell you if recordings are deleted after 24 hours or stored for weeks. Ask security. Heavy check mark how long is footage kept. Heavy check mark who has access. Heavy check mark is it shared with third parties. These simple questions shift you from being a passive subject of surveillance to an informed participant who understands the system around you. Surveillance outside the home may be expected, but what about the places meant to feel safe and caring? Next, we'll uncover how cameras are quietly reshaping life inside care facilities and nursing homes. Wearables, medical alerts, and GPS trackers were designed with protection in mind. They can call for help during a fall, share real-time vitals with doctors, or pinpoint a lost loved one's location. But these same tools don't just connect to caregivers, they also connect to servers, apps, and sometimes third-party companies. That means sensitive data, like where you go when you're most active and even health details, can be logged, stored, and sometimes shared. For seniors, this creates a double-edged sword. Safety on one hand, surveillance on the other. Take Margaret, age 81. Her daughter gifted her a GPS-enabled medical alert pendant after she nearly tripped walking home one evening. First, it felt like a lifesaver, literally. The first time she fell, the device automatically alerted her daughter and emergency services. But weeks later, Margaret began to notice something unsettling. Her daughter would mention tiny details like, "Mom, I saw you stayed home all day yesterday, are you feeling all right?" Or, "You walked less than usual last week." What began as reassurance slowly turned into the uneasy sense that every move she made was being monitored. For Margaret, the line between care and constant surveillance blurred. Take Margaret, age 81. Her daughter gifted her a GPS-enabled medical alert pendant after she nearly tripped walking home one evening. First, it felt like a lifesaver, literally. The first time she fell, the device automatically alerted her daughter and emergency services. But weeks later, Margaret began to notice something unsettling. Her daughter would mention tiny details like, "Mom, I saw you stayed home all day yesterday, are you feeling all right?" Or, "You walked less than usual last week." What began as reassurance slowly turned into the uneasy sense that every move she made was being monitored. For Margaret, the line between care and constant surveillance blurred. Research published in PMC highlights the undeniable value of GPS trackers and in-home monitoring systems for seniors with dementia or mobility issues. They reduce wandering risks, speed up response times, and give families peace of mind. But the same studies raise red flags. Continuous tracking can erode autonomy, create dependency, and in some cases, expose deeply personal data. Regulators and privacy advocates note that many wearable and health tech devices don't fully disclose how long they keep your information or exactly who gets access. These devices can be life-saving, but you should stay in control. Always use tracking devices with clear consent. Limit who has access to the data, and check how long companies store it. When possible, choose vendors that publish strong privacy protections. The place you expect care can also contain hidden cameras. Sometimes families install them to catch abuse. Sometimes facilities monitor for other reasons. In nursing homes and care facilities, trust is everything. Families place loved ones there believing they will receive compassion, attention, and dignity. But behind the doors of resident rooms and common halls, cameras are becoming increasingly common. Sometimes, families secretly place hidden cameras after suspecting neglect. Other times, the facilities themselves add monitoring systems, citing safety and liability. The result is a complicated debate. Cameras can uncover mistreatment, but they also risk intruding on residents' last bastions of privacy. Consider the case of Eleanor, 86, whose daughter began noticing bruises and subtle changes in her mother's behavior. Quiet withdrawal, fear at bedtime. Unsure of the truth, her daughter installed a discreet camera in the room. Within days, the footage revealed what no one wanted to believe. A staff member handling Eleanor roughly and neglecting her requests for help. The evidence was heartbreaking, but it was also the proof that finally brought action. The caregiver was removed, the facility investigated, and Eleanor's daughter could finally demand real accountability. This story is not rare. Advocacy groups say hidden cameras have uncovered abuse and neglect across the country. According to the Nursing Home Abuse Center and legal guides, The use of cameras in care facilities is growing rapidly. Some states have passed specific granny cam laws that allow families to monitor loved ones with consent. Others strictly regulate or outright prohibit them, citing resident privacy and staff concerns. Advocates point out that cameras can be powerful tools for protecting vulnerable seniors, but only if balanced with clear rules about consent, placement, and use of footage. The legal landscape is patchwork. What's allowed in one state may be illegal in another. That's why experts recommend families always check local laws and consult professionals before installing surveillance in a facility. Before installing any camera, always check your state's laws and the facility's written policies. If you're worried about neglect or abuse, keep detailed notes of incidents, save any evidence, and reach out to an ombudsman or elder care attorney for guidance. Remember, you have rights and your loved one deserves both safety and dignity. Cameras can be shields of protection, but they must be handled with care. Because in places meant for healing and dignity, privacy is just as important as safety. We've just uncovered 5 surprising places where older adults are being watched, often without even realizing it. But knowledge is power, and awareness is the first step toward taking back control. It's not about avoiding technology, and it's not about living in fear. It's about staying informed so you, not the system, are the one in charge. These small steps don't take long, but they can give you peace of mind. And peace of mind is what privacy is all about. This isn't to scare you. It's to give you control. You deserve dignity, independence, and privacy at every age. If you learned even one new thing today, type the number of that place in the comments below. And don't forget, hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss more practical privacy tips made for seniors just like you. Most people think surveillance only happens when you step in front of a camera. But the truth is, it's much bigger than that. Today, I'm going to show you 5 ordinary places where older adults are quietly being monitored every single day. Where are you being watched right now? From the grocery store aisle to your living room, from the parking lot outside your doctor's office to the very wristband designed to keep you safe, the eyes and ears of technology are everywhere. And while this isn't about panic or paranoia, it is about awareness. Because awareness gives you choices, and choices give you control. Stay with me until the end, because once you know these 5 hidden places, you'll be able to protect your privacy and move through the world with confidence. The place you expect care can also contain hidden cameras. Sometimes families install them to catch abuse, sometimes facilities monitor for other reasons. When a senior moves into a nursing home or assisted living facility, the family's hope is simple: safety, dignity, and compassionate care. But in recent years, cameras, both hidden and openly installed, have entered these spaces. Some facilities set them up in common areas to monitor hallways or dining rooms. Families, on the other hand, often install cameras in private rooms, usually out of fear that something isn't right. These cameras can serve as powerful tools, uncovering neglect, exposing mistreatment, or simply reassuring families that their loved one is receiving proper care. But they also raise serious privacy questions. Is a resident truly free in their own room if they are constantly being watched? What about roommates, visitors, or staff who never consented to being recorded? Take the story of Eleanor, 86. Her daughter began noticing small warning signs: unexplained bruises, changes in mood, and a fear of being left alone at night. Unsure what was happening, she placed a discreet camera in her mother's room. Within days, the footage revealed a staff member being rough and dismissive when Eleanor asked for help. The evidence was painful, but it gave her daughter what she needed: proof that demanded action. The staff member was removed, an investigation was launched, and Eleanor's care finally improved. Stories like Eleanor's are not isolated. Advocacy groups say hidden cameras in nursing homes have repeatedly uncovered abuse, leading to reforms, lawsuits, and even new laws. According to the Nursing Home Abuse Center and Legal Resources, the use of so-called granny cams is on the rise. Some states explicitly allow families to install cameras in resident rooms if the resident or their legal guardian consents. Other states strictly limit or ban them, citing privacy violations. Laws differ widely. What's legal in Texas may be illegal in California. Experts warn that families must always check state rules and facility policies before setting up any device. The legal complexity makes this one of the most debated privacy issues in elder care today. Cameras can protect, but they also transform intimate spaces into monitored zones. Before installing any camera, always check your local laws and the facility's written policies. If you suspect neglect or abuse, keep detailed notes of incidents and report them. An ombudsman or elder care attorney can guide you through the right steps to protect your loved one without violating rules. In facilities meant for healing and dignity, surveillance can either be a shield or a burden. The key is balance, protecting safety while respecting the right to privacy.